Now we have proof of Donald Trump's latest scam. Check this out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Fundraising emails that I get from the Trump campaign, the one from, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday of this week, it was just particularly bizarre. It was, as I recall, from Don Jr., I shared it with you on the air. Maybe you remember better than I do. And because I see so many of these things, I mean, I literally get 4 or 5 of them a day. And it said, Thomas, my father and I were going over our donor records, and my father pointed out to me your name and said that you have been one of our really extraordinary contributors, and therefore we would like to put you on our wall of honor. And there was a picture of Donald Trump standing in front of a bunch of plaques on a wall, implying that my name would go on a plaque that would hang on a wall in the White House. And it's like, yeah, I gave $5 back in 2015 to get on the list. It's like, what? And then today I got one. My father, this was from Eric Trump. That one I think was from Don Jr. This one, Thomas, what an honor. My father just signed one of our 2020 Make America Great hats, and now he wants to give it to you, and you is in all caps. Can you believe it? You've been one of my father's fiercest supporters from the beginning, Thomas. So when he told me of his plan to give this unique hat to a lucky patriot, we both agreed it shouldn't go to anyone else. All you have to do is contribute $30, and you'll automatically be entered to win this iconic hat. But we only have a few spots left in the entry list, so you have to act fast. And then there's the, click on here. These guys are running a scam. I mean, they must think, actually, I think the fact that they continue doing this and have for 3.5 years proves that potential Trump voters are idiots or gullible or vulnerable or, over 80 and struggling cognitively. Judd Legum is has been pointing this out for a while over at his newsletter, popular.info. It's an absolutely brilliant daily newsletter that I've been subscribing to for a while, and I encourage you to. Popular.info is where you can find all about it. And Judd is on the line with us. Hey, Judd, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I am so glad to have you here. You do such great work. And so tell us about the latest scam that's coming out of the Trump campaign.
Okay.
Judd?
Oh, I didn't hear the question. Could you repeat that real quick, Tom? Just had some audio issues.
Yeah, no problem. Tell us about the latest scam that's coming out of the Trump campaign, the fundraising scam.
I can't hear him.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Judd, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Thanks, Tom.
Okay, great. So tell us about the latest scam coming out of the Trump campaign.
Yeah, well, this is something I've been following for a while, which is there's been over 20 of these contests to have a meal with Trump, which is a fairly typical contest for these political campaigns, presidential campaigns. It started, I think Obama was probably the first person to do it, but it's a good way to raise a lot of money because people are interested in it. But one thing I noticed was that there's never any pictures of Trump with these low-dollar donors, which is not the case with Obama or any of the other Republicans who do contests like this. So I actually noticed there was a contest that was going on this week to have dinner with Trump in New York, in Southampton, New York. And he actually will be there for a fundraiser. But when you dig into this, there was over $100,000 in Facebook ads that were placed this week by the Trump campaign. And it was targeting states where you cannot travel to New York without quarantining for 14 days. So most of the people who are being solicited to enter this contest cannot legally win the prize and have dinner with Trump on Saturday. So it's just an obvious case of the fact that they're not really going forward with this contest in the way that they're telling people.
Judd, for 3.5 years, these guys have been refusing to pay local police departments for security for Trump rallies and Trump campaign rallies and things. I mean, there's towns all over America. Trump owes literally millions of dollars, I believe, to cities and counties and states for providing security. And he's just like, screw them. This is how he ran his real estate business. I mean, he's been sued 3,000 times by vendors who say he never paid them. So if he doesn't pay his bills, and if he doesn't pay cops for security, why would we think that he would pay for dinner for somebody who was the lucky winner of one of his contests? And if this is the kind of naked fraud that it appears to be, and we can't find anybody who actually won one of these things, isn't that the same thing that Letitia James is trying to take down the NRA for? Isn't that fraud?
I mean, I think it is fraud if you run a contest and there's no winner, because you're inducing people to contribute to the campaign for a chance to win. And I think it is fraud. Now, whether there's a way to hold them accountable for that, well, that's always the rub with Trump. But I think what's really struck me is just how much of this campaign's messaging has been based on just lying to their supporters. You know, one of the things that I noticed as well was they have this Trump 100 club, and they tell you that you've been one of
I was invited to join that just a couple days ago.
To be part of this club. And they then show that to millions of people on Facebook. Yeah, so it's really just shameless.
Yeah, I was invited to be one of those people. I think I got an email about that yesterday, the day before. You really ought to send $5 to the campaign and get on their list, because it's mind-boggling. And then they sell their list to everybody else. Then you get on all these other right-wing lists, and it's the whole right wing, and they're all running scams. I mean, this whole right-wing ecosystem is just mind-boggling. By the way, we have 2 minutes to the break here. We're talking to Judd Legum, who's the founder of Popular.info, and he's the former founding editor-in-chief at Think Progress, which was just a brilliant website in its day. You've done a deep dive into the Trump administration's $700 million loan to Kodak. Tell me about that.
Well, this was the fundamental question about the deal is, why would you give Kodak, which was only worth around $100 million before they got this deal and is in the film business, why would you give them $750 million to produce the materials that you use to produce generic drugs instead of a pharmaceutical company or a chemical company or someone who's actually in this business? You know, that's the underlying problem. And then once you go from there are a lot of questions about how this was handled, because the CEO and other insiders, through both the purchase of stocks and them being given options as late as a day before the deal was announced, who have really enriched themselves. So here are taxpayers paying this large loan in order to basically transform Kodak into a pharmaceutical company. And the result is, so far, that Kodak insiders are profiting.
They're making millions. Yeah. Isn't this like, the buddies of Jared Kushner and Don Trump Jr. who had never done business before and suddenly got multi-million-dollar contracts for testing or swabs or what? I mean, there was a bunch of those kind of scandals early on in the coronavirus thing, as I recall.
Yeah, I think it's similar. Definitely. Yeah,
remarkable stuff. Judd Legum, the website popular.info, his newsletter is a must-read. It comes in email every day, and it's just extraordinary. Judd, thanks so much for dropping by.